Hey Pyjama bosses, it's Miguel here. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that I think when you understand it, you may want to go ahead and teach it to your team. So bear with me and you will know exactly what I mean, because at the end of the day, as you guys understand, consistency is the mother of everything, right? If you don't stay consistent doing something for so long, especially in network marketing, the money is in the long term, right? Not in the short term. So for that, you need to be consistent for long enough so you can actually have the results. Not just that. You need to stay consistent so you can help your team to be consistent enough so they can actually make it happen. And as I'm kind of talking to you, I saw that Joe is having like a little nap today. What do you guys think? He is alive, by the way. Let me show you quickly. I'm not kidding. Joey, yes, I woke him up. Now he's gonna come back and tell me something. Anyway, so what I wanted to show you guys, I'm a very visual person, so I like kind of to draw things on boards and like iPads and things. So what I was thinking is to go ahead, to go upstairs and kind of show you, if I don't trip here on the stairs, to show you exactly what I mean on how to, first of all, you can stay consistent if you don't have a big team yet or anything. And as you do that and you learn that, you can actually go ahead and teach it to your team. Now, I know that many people talk about staying consistent, and I think sometimes staying consistent means that you need to, I guess, understand and have the clarity on how to stay consistent and where you're at in every time in your business. And until you do that, you can't just wing it, I guess. You need to know exactly where you are, exactly what you're doing at any given time. So for that, I have the whiteboard here behind me, and I'm going to show you in 2 seconds. So stay with me. Now, as you can see here, there is a little bit of a drawing here. Now, before I go into that and I show you, as I was saying to you, everything is, the Holy Grail, it's about duplication. And obviously to have duplication, you need to stay consistent in everything you do. Now, the way you stay consistent, you can do it in many different ways. For me, the way I'm going to explain it to you, I always try to, take what I understand and put it in a real life example and understand it and how to explain in a real life example, and then take it from there into, let's say in this case, network marketing, and what I need to do first of all, and then what my team needs to do. So, at the end of the day, there's many ways that you can understand things, and hopefully by me explaining this to you today, my hope is that maybe you have a light bulb moment, or maybe one of your team members, understands that finally how to be consistent and how to have that clarity on how the process is and what they need to do at a certain point in time. Okay, so anyway, without further ado, let me show you exactly what I mean. So first of all, what I wrote here on top is I'm comparing the car manufacturing to leadership development. Okay, the real life example obviously is car manufacturing, and there is a reason to my madness. So if you bear with me, I'll explain exactly what I mean. So in car manufacturing, and this is the thing that you see here, okay, the car manufacturing, when you go to a factory, right, you go to the assembly line, right? In the assembly line, there is always one person that is in charge of doing the one thing, right? And they don't do anything else, they just do the one thing and then do it every single day, day in and day out, every single day, right? So, for example, let's say, as an example, this person here, right, in this station, so there's different stations, right, and every station is in charge of something. The person that is in station number 1 is, let's say, is in charge of putting together the structure of the car, right, and this is all he does, right? So every time he takes all these pieces that he has here, he takes them in and then puts the structure of the car. As soon as the structure of the car is in, he passes this to station number 2, where the next person that is here, this person is in charge of putting the wheels to the car, right? Yes, so far so good. Now, as soon as this person finishes putting the wheels, then pass this on to the next person in the next station, in the assembly line, and that person probably is in charge, I don't know, maybe to put the engine in the car, right? And as this person puts the engine in the car, he passes the structure with the engine and the wheels to station number 4, right, where this person is in charge of, I don't know, putting the seats in the car, okay? So as you can see, my drawing is not that good, but you get the gist of it, right? And here they put all the seats in the car, right? And then as soon as the seats in the car are done, then this guy passes, passes the car to, or the assembly line, the conveyor belt, I think it is. It goes to the next person, right? And the next person basically puts the, I don't know, the structure in the car, the beautiful kind of shape and all that, right? And then the last person here, right? Once the car is already pretty much assembled, this person is in charge of doing like a test run, right? And then off you go. The car is ready for sale. Yes? So far so good? That kind of makes sense, right? In real life example. Now, what happens if this person, let's say today he calls sick and he doesn't feel like working today? Then he's not putting the structure in the car. What happens to this person? Do you think he will have anything? And let's say there's no replacement, okay? That there's no replacement for this person in station 1. What do you think happens in station 2? Do you think this person has anything to work with? No. Do you think this person has anything to work with if this person cannot put the wheels in the car and the first person didn't put, nothing here. And then again, the same here and the same here, right? And there is nothing at the end, no result, right? So if you go to network marketing, which is the drawing that you guys have here on top, and this is where I'm coming to. Most of the people, when you ask them if they have been consistent, they answer, I don't know how to be consistent. Sometimes, they might be sponsoring, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 people, maybe 20 people in a month, and then they spend, the rest of the 6 months without sponsoring anyone, or they feel like they ran out of contacts, right? So instead of doing that, what if they understood that what they're doing is exactly the same process as the assembly line in a car manufacturing factory, right? What if, first of all, station number 1, the same person always, right? It's, let's say in this case, Miguel, right? In this case, Miguel knows that the first thing that he needs to know is to contact someone, right? In station number 1. So there is, plenty of people around the world, and you can find them, in social media, Facebook, Instagram. You can find them in LinkedIn. You can find them in the real world, right? You guys have heard of that, that old school real world. Yes, still works, by the way. I think there is a fine line between offline and online, and sometimes combining both in the right way is the thing that is going to create you the most results ever, right? And the fastest, by the way. So anyway, let's say that you have figured out a way to contact people and establish contact with people. And as soon as you do that, right, let's say person A, yes, I have established contact with person A, I have the hat of contacting. As soon as I contact person A, I'm going to pass it on to the next person, to the next station online, okay, in the line. And this person A is here, right, person A, right, and what am I in charge now? So now I change the hat from contacting to the hat of building relationship, right? And in this station, I'm in charge of building relationship with person A until that person is ready to what? To be invited, right? To watch my opportunity. And here is invitation, right? So far so good. And again, Miguel has here the hat of invitation. So everything that Miguel does with person A after Miguel has built in our relationship is to invite that person. And then after that, obviously, is to present, right? And when that person is ready and says, yes, I accept your invitation, then I'm going to present to that person, right? And then after I present, then I'm going to follow up. And then after I follow up and they say, yes, I'm ready to get started, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get them started. So then I take them into already the getting started and getting them results, and, for them to actually do and create, make their dreams reality, I guess, at the end of the day, right? So this kind of makes sense, this process, yes? Now, my question always is, okay, how can I be consistent and understand that, I should never run out of contacts and never have that fear of lack and limitation? So in this case, the way we explain it always to the teams is as follows. So let's say today, like in example number 1, you just say you contacted like 3 people, right? And after contacting 3 people, you pass these 3 people to station number 2, but then you call in sick, right? As Miguel, in my case, Miguel contacting people, basically I refuse to contact people, I'm calling sick, I'm not contacting anybody, I don't go into Facebook or I don't go anywhere, and I don't contact anyone, okay? So here, in station number 2, I'm still building relationship with these people, right? These 3, but what happens when I pass on these 3 people and, station number 1 didn't do anything? Do you think I'm gonna get anybody to build a relationship with? No, right? So what happens then down the line? Do I have anybody to invite? No. Do I have anybody to present? No. Do I have anybody to follow up? And so on, right? Now, what happens if I don't do it today and I don't do it tomorrow? Obviously, nothing is going to happen here. So all this is going to be basically redundant, useless, right? Now, the other thing that happens most of the time is as people go through this, they do a lot of contacting, right? And then they say, okay, well, I've been doing contacting for, 3 days, but I'm not getting anybody started. I can't follow up on anybody. They're all here, right? Between contacting and building relationship. So that is the next thing to understand, that at the end of the day, you can be as good as you are, and it's okay, because eventually, if you are very good at what you do, you're going to build relationship. But you need to stay patient enough to know that that's going to be, something that is going to take time. And then after that, you're going to be able to invite someone. But there is going to be a gap between the time that you connect with someone or you contact someone, then somebody that you build relationship with, and then somebody that you invite and follow up and present and all these things, right? Now, there is a gap. So you need to understand that you need to stay patient with it. That as long as you stay consistent and you keep bringing people in all the time, and you start contacting them, and you have the contact, hat, and right now I'm just contacting people, and after I contact that person, then I'm going to pass them on to the next station, which is the building relationship, and then to the invitation. And the key to everything, to stay consistent is the same as in the car manufacturing industry, okay? And is at any given time, in every single station, you need to have people. In this case, you need to have people to contact, you need to have people that you are building relationship, people that you're inviting, people that you are presenting. The moment that somebody behind you, or before you, here, stops doing that job and doesn't stay consistent, is going to jeopardize the rest of the process, okay? So if you want to stay consistent at the end of the day, make sure that you understand and your team understands that at any given time there is different stations, and on every single station there is the one thing that you are in charge of, okay? And the moment you don't do that, because maybe you have a lot of people that you're building relationship and you forget about contacting, that is going to impact the rest of the things that are going to be happening in the future, the rest of the growing of your team, right? So I hope all this kind of makes sense. Sometimes, I think going into the real life and understanding that, in this case, car manufacturing, is kind of simple to understand. If you apply the same principle here, you might be able to stay consistent. Not just that, maybe you might get your team to be consistent. And as you know, if your team stays consistent, that means duplication, that means leverage for you. Now, in other kind of small trainings or small lessons, if you want to call it, we'll be talking about the importance of, systemizing things like this, or showing people a process where they can stay, understand all these stations, but at the same time staying consistent as they do that, but doing it in a very simple way that anybody can actually go and do it without thinking too much on what I need to do, when and where, and all that. So hopefully all that makes sense. In the meantime, there is a couple of things that I would like you to do if you really enjoyed this video. One, obviously, is if you like it and you think it's going to be useful to anybody in your team, and if you think it's going to really help them, if you're watching this video, in Facebook or YouTube, I would like you to go and either tag somebody, share it with a friend, somebody that you think is going to benefit. Sometimes, you're going to try to explain it, maybe you might be able to explain it well, but what if you can use tools, and this is kind of a tool for you right now to explain it to somebody without having to be involved for however long this video is to explain it to them. And that might be something that they can have a light bulb moment, and that means results for you and your team, okay? So that's the one thing. The second thing that I would like you to do is Masha and I are having a training, on a free training by the way, on basically what it means to have a system and what it means to have a process and how that can impact the way you can grow your team and how fast you can grow your team. And not so much that, but how in the near future, instead of increasing hours of how you're working, eventually you can actually decrease the hours where your team and your income grows, okay? If you're interested and you are very curious about knowing what it is and you want to go through that free training, by the way, the only thing you need to do is there is a button somewhere around here on the screen, below the screen. Just click on that, register. It's a free training. And in the meantime, I hope you guys are having an amazing week, and I will see you very soon.